So, Monster Hunter now has a lot of issues, but thankfully, Niantic is listening to some player feedback and they are making some good changes to the game. And slowly, it's getting better and better. So in this video, we'll be taking a look at some of the recent changes that Niantic has made to Monster Hunter Now. So we'll be taking a look at the updates for Monster Hunter Now version 69. Nice. And you can check these updates for yourself in the Monster Hunter Now community forums, which I will have linked in the description below. But it starts off with an update to the lance. So now you can change your attack directions based on the tap position on the screen. So tap the upper part of the screen to attack diagonally upwards and tap the lower part of the screen to attack straight ahead. So basically what it says is if you tap the upper part of your screen, you'll perform a high thrust. And if you tap the lower half of your screen, you'll perform a forward thrust. This is a great change since high thrust deals more damage than the forward thrust, and now that we have some sort of control, we want to use the high thrusts more often. But before, we didn't have any control over the lance attacks whatsoever. The game system would automatically determine what type of attacks the hunter will use, and most of the time it would use the weaker forward thrusting attacks. Now, we can use high thrusts more often and deal more damage with the lance. This change actually improves the lance's DPS. But because of this change, using the lance takes even more skill now. You have to pay attention to your positioning more closely, because if you're positioned far from the monster, your high thrust will whiff. So that will be another thing you have to worry about. Not only do you have to pay attention to perfect guarding attacks to not take chip damage, now you also have to worry about using the right thrusting attack to deal optimal damage. Next are some changes to Hunt-a-thons. The cooldown time until you can join another Hunt-a-thon is now displayed on the main screen. This is a great change, but something that should have been there in the first place. Now we don't have to guess whether if we can join another Hunt-a-thon or we have to wait a little while. So the next change is for Hunt-a-thon tickets. The cooldown timer for joining another Hunt-a-thon is no longer reset when using a Hunt-a-thon ticket. For example, if there are 30 minutes remaining on the cooldown timer and you use a Hunt-a-thon ticket, the cooldown timer will start at 30 minutes. So this is a great change if you're planning on doing a lot of Hunt-a-thons, and after 3 hours you can join another one for free. So the next change for Hunt-a-thons is after transitioning to the lobby for the second monster and beyond, there is now a brief period where you wait for other hunters. This change is to help prevent accidentally starting the hunt prematurely. So this is a great change for players who live in cities or countries that have a lot of random players around the area who play Monster Hunter Now. But if you're playing with your friends, it's still better to form a party when doing Hunt-a-thons. But if you're a solo player like me, this change doesn't benefit you at all. It actually makes things worse. You have to wait a brief period before you can start the next hunt, even though there's no one around you. But arguably the best update is this one. You can now skip the cutscenes from Urgent Quest and Hunt-a-thons. Great, this is a great change. This is especially useful for Zinogre hunts, since the Zinogre cutscene is so long. This got especially annoying if you fail the Hunt-a-thon and you have to watch the cutscene all over again. So the next change is about the green arrow on the equipment screen. It has been updated to make it easier to distinguish between whether it can be upgraded or not. It's a small minor change and personally I don't even notice it. But this is actually not the change that I want. There have been numerous times where I accidentally tapped on the green arrow and the upgrade screen popped up. Instead of simply equipping the armor piece, I accidentally upgraded it. and I didn't want to upgrade it since it was gonna use the Rarity 2 materials that I have been saving for another upgrade. So it's very frustrating that it doesn't even ask you if you're sure if you want to upgrade this armor piece. It automatically uses up the precious materials and you can't cancel it. Another minor change is the icons for gift sets have been updated. Next is the paintball specifications have been changed. Once a marked monster's hunt begins, if any participating hunter successfully defeats the monster, the hunt will be considered completed. Subsequently, regardless of the number of attempts, further hunting of the monster will not be possible. If the owner leaves the hunt of a marked monster due to issues such as poor network conditions during the hunt, and any participating member successfully completes the hunt cannot be resumed. Therefore, we successfully recommend playing in areas with stable network coverage, especially during hunts with rare monsters. Please note that issues related to gameplay due to network issues are not covered by support. Thank you for understanding. Nope, no, I do not agree with this change. If one player gets disconnected, all players should get disconnected as well. And in fact, I think the whole paintball system is actually messed up. We are paying a lot for these paintballs, so I think we should at least get unlimited tries before the paintball monster expires. So I think the paintball system needs a full revamp, because in my opinion, it's not worth it. Next on the list are some bug fixes to group hunts and the bow's charge levels. But the major change I want to talk about is the change regarding part breaks. Some skills did not reflect the additional damage to part breaks properly. The following skills and conditions did not reflect the additional damage inflicted on large monsters regarding build-up damage for part breaks, making it more difficult for parts to break than expected. So with the fix, part breaks are now more likely to occur than before. So there's gonna be additional part damage from critical hits with weapons with positive affinity, additional part damage from sneak attack, additional part damage from Skyward Striker, additional damage from special boost, and additional part damage to monsters in the sleep state. Now, the noteworthy ones are the additional part damage from Sneak Attack and additional part damage from Skyward Striker. So, with the additional part damage from Sneak Attack, cutting tails will be more consistent, and for Skyward Striker, breaking backs will be more consistent. But on the other hand, the following skills and conditions did not reflect the reduced damage inflicted on large monsters regarding build-up damage for part breaks. So the part damage from critical hits with weapons with negative affinity have been reduced, and the part damage due to attacks from outside of the critical distance when using the light bowgun and the bow has been reduced as well. So let's be clear that the total damage was not reduced, only part breaker damage. So this means that part breaks when using the bow or the light bowgun will be less likely to occur if you're outside of the critical distance. So again, it's not a nerf to damage, it's just a nerf to part breaker damage. If you're not paying attention to your critical distance, then you won't be breaking parts as consistent as before. So on to the more exciting stuff, the future plans of Niantic for Monster Hunter Now. So starting February 1, the schedule for Hunt-a-thons will be adjusted as follows. So Hunt-a-thons will become available from 7:15 a.m. to 11:15 p.m. So that's earlier in the morning and later at night. So this is a great change because it will give us more opportunities to go on Hunt-a-thons. But just be careful when joining Hunt-a-thons at night. Be sure to play in a safe place and pay attention to your surroundings. The change to the Hunt-a-thon schedule is so great because ever since this game got released, I've been waking up very early in the morning just to play this game and go on some early morning jogs to get in some healthy exercise, and it's been my routine ever since. But when the new Hunt-a-thon feature got released, it kinda broke my schedule because they start later in the day. The sun would already be up by then, and I don't want to go outside and play under the scorching heat and get sunburned. But with this change, I can now join Hunt-a-thons during my early morning jogs. So thank you Niantic for this change. The last change is about the referral system. There will be changes to the conditions for receiving gifts for users who used a referral code and reached Hunter rank 11 as of February 1. Before, up to 20 people per account per month. After, up to 20 people per account only. This, in my opinion, is a sad change, because when you reach 20 referrals, there's no more real incentive to ask others to play Monster Hunter Now, and the player base will no longer grow. In my opinion, this is a bad change, but I don't think I have the right to complain about it. I benefited greatly from this referral system, and I just really want to thank you guys for using my referral code when the game launched. Before, there was no cap on the amount of referrals you can receive in a month, and a lot of you guys used my referral code, and now I have 120 potions and 85 paintballs. Thank you guys so much for using my referral code, and I'll be saving these potions when the Elder Dragons come out or when I find the local community here in the Philippines and I could go on some Hunt-a-thon parties with them. So please, Monster Hunter Now Philippine community, if there are still some active players out there, please reach out. I don't know where to find you guys. The Facebook communities I've joined seems pretty dead already, and no one's replying to my messages. So if you're out there, reach out in the comments. I'd love to play with you guys. So these minor changes that Niantic has made do make the player experience a bit better, but at its core, Monster Hunter Now still has a lot of issues, like drop rates, the potion system, and the crazy monetization practices that we currently have in this game. The exclusive packs that they are trying to sell are so crazy expensive for so little value. I guess if some players keep buying these packs and Niantic keeps making a profit, these practices won't change. But then again, these are optional things and you don't have to buy these packs. I do want to support the game, but right now these bundles are just not worth it. Also, I'd like to give a shout out to Octovian for sending me a gift. But as you can see, man, I still have a lot of potions. I super appreciate it, but please save that money for yourself. But if you guys want to support the channel, there are a lot of free ways to do so. Like liking the videos, sharing your thoughts in the comments, and watching the videos up until the end. Those are just some free ways, but it really goes a long way in supporting the channel. So thank you guys for watching the videos, and I hope you find it very useful. I appreciate you guys always. But that's it for now. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you guys in the next one.